Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to BHS Stadium here on this cloudy Monday afternoon. I'm here with Kevin Gibbs, normally the girls basketball coach, but helping me out here on this broadcast for girls lacrosse between the Bulldogs and the undefeated Portsmouth Clippers. Coach, this Clippers team is just running away with Division I, undefeated 13-0, and as you mentioned to me while we were off mic, this program is a powerhouse, this Clippers program.
There's an unbelievable legacy dating back to 2007 when they were in Division III. Over the last 18 years, you take away the COVID year, so really over the last 17 years, they've been in the championship game. 13 of those 17 years, they've got quite a few championships to their credit. I believe they're the defending state champions, and this season, with the exception of one game against Pinkerton that they won 9-7, their average victory margin has been over 12 goals, and they have been in double digits every other game. It's a very strong offensive powerhouse, but they're also a program that seems to reload every single year.
Meanwhile, the Bulldogs come into this game at 8-4, and despite 4 losses, they're still very much within reach of the number 2 seed. They're presently tied for 5th with Bishop Girton, but with 4 losses, they are only 1 loss behind the second place team, the Exeter Bluehawks. So there's still a lot of room for improvement with these Bulldogs, but they're going to have their hands full today against the Clippers, who are undefeated coming into this game.
I think we're going to see a true measure of where Bedford stands this week, because in addition to tonight's game hosting Portsmouth, they travel to Pinkerton on Wednesday in another really tough Division I matchup, and those 2 games will, I think, really tell us what the Bulldogs are capable of this year. Obviously, as they do every year, they have high postseason aspirations. They've certainly won a few titles and made it to that championship game, so they know what it takes to get there. But there's some real strength in the division this year, and this week will give them a really good door into what it's going to take to finish this thing off next month.
Yeah, longtime head coach Christine Hodgson, of course, very much used to winning, very much used to success. This season with the 4 wins, maybe a little bit below her usual standards, but the team definitely in playoff position, tournament position, and like I said, within striking distance of second place in the number 2 seed. At least the Bulldogs have been trending quite well in the last couple of games. They put together 3 wins in a row, defeating Central West 18-10, Hanover 14-18, and Salem 13-4. Of course, this Portsmouth team is a much higher level of opponent, and I think it's going to be a real test. Like you said, it's going to really be a measurement kind of game for the Bulldogs.
The key this year for Bedford, they've taken care of business. They have not obviously run the table, but their losses have been to very strong teams, and they've beaten every team that they're supposed to beat. You know, when you look at the schedule as a coach, you go, all right, if we lose one of these 5 or 6 games, it's going to be an upset. We need to make sure we take care of business, and Bedford has done that this year.
Officials are checking the sticks and webbing in the sticks right now. As soon as they're done with that, we should be getting ready to face off this game. While we have a moment here, let's talk about what's coming up on the BCTV sports schedule. Our next broadcast is coming up Friday from SAU Field. The Bulldogs hosting the Merrimack Tomahawks in baseball. Just notified that there will not be an anthem in this game, so why don't we take a quick break right now and thank our underwriters for our sports broadcast. Take it away, Andrew.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
Face-off coming up momentarily here at Bedford High Stadium. Quick reminder, it's easy to listen to Bedford 105.1 Radio online. Go to bedford1051.com for the stream link. We also stream on apps like TuneIn, MyTuner, Simple Radio, and Radio Garden. Or if you've got an Alexa-enabled device, just say, Alexa, play Bedford 105.1.
So for those that follow the game, of course, the girls' game is played a bit differently than the boys. Boys are a lot more physical with a lot of padding, a lot of helmets, a lot of hitting, whereas the girls, there's a lot less contact allowed, and we'll hear the whistle blow quite a few times tonight for infractions that involve that type of interference, that type of contact.
Yeah, it's a great point. I'm always surprised that that the ladies don't wear helmets. I mean, it's not, you're right. It's not as physical a game on the girls' side, but the ball still flies.
It flies. It's very hard.
Very hard.
You'll note a lot of
get hit.
A lot of the players wear special eyewear to protect their eyes.
And the face-off is a bit different. The official at the Big B is going to tee the ball up between the two players on their sticks.
Yeah,
Madeline Kiley is going to take the face-off for the Bulldogs, while it's going to be Ginger Vinciguerra for the Clippers. So time taken here to tee it up just so. If it's not perfect, they'll do it again. Ball in the air, on the ground. Still fighting for possession. Looks like nobody's got it quite yet. Now a foul is called and possession will be granted to the Bulldogs. Nobody able to come up with the ball on that face-off, but the Bulldogs awarded on the penalty. This is Kiley crossing midfield, loses the ball, had it checked off her stick. Oh, a blow to the head right there. That should be a call. That's Reagan Lawton, who fell down on the ground. Foul called on the Bulldogs. Play resumed. Up a little too quickly. The official wants to make sure that everybody's set. So Reagan Lawton restarts, double teamed by the Bulldogs. Emery Lawton with the ball, trying to get around the Bedford defender, loses the ball in the process, and it's picked up by the Bulldogs. So a couple of possession changes here. This is Molly Muir coming up the sideline, looking for an outlet, gets it over to Kiley. Kiley taking it down the sideline into the offensive end, being watched there carefully by Maddie Houghton. Kiley takes it all the way behind X, gets the ball up to LeBlanc, back to Kiley. Moving behind the net. Pass in front, broken up, intercepted by, I believe it's Liv Russo. No, correction, that is Ava Barrows. I'm sorry, I'm getting the name wrong.
That last Portsmouth rush was led by Molly Muir, whose oldest sister, Megan, excelled at Bedford and just finished up her freshman year at Anderson University down in South Carolina with a lot of accolades, which hopefully I'll have an opportunity to share in a few minutes. She high impact player.
That school is the next door neighbor of Clemson, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Now Portsmouth on offense. Reagan Lawton with possession, looking for a shooting lane. Instead passes it up, shot, and a give and a go and a score right there. I believe that's Ginger Vinciguerra who scores, and she'll get an assist. So it'll be an assist for Reagan Lawton, and the goal by Vinciguerra puts the Clippers up 1-0.
Very polished offense, a very structured set that they ran, and Bedford needs to be extremely diligent in how they defend that, because Portsmouth is definitely operating at a very high level, and I guess the best equivalent you could say is how the Bedford and Bishop Girton boys teams play. There's quite a bit of separation between them and the rest of the league. Portsmouth is kind of in that same category.
Face-off being teed off once again between Kiley and Vinciguerra. And Vinciguerra gets her own face-off. Passes it ahead to Lily Patterson. Patterson into the Bedford zone. Gives it to Reagan Lawton. Lawton pauses, looks for an outlet. Vinciguerra with it now. Now here's a pass inside and a shot and a goal. Quickly, Portsmouth up 2-0 here. Excellent passing. They seem to be able to find the open player in front of the crease, and they take a great shot. And I believe that's number 17 who scored the goal, Morgan Runke.
Yeah, again, to the casual watcher, it looks like just a lot of movement. But there's a tremendous amount of planning that goes into executing these particular sets, and a lot of screen setting, a lot of nice cutting, what we like to refer to as face cuts in basketball, and they're very efficient. We're only a few minutes into this game, and Portsmouth is really exerting their will on the Bulldogs.
Well, they scored just 24 seconds after they scored goal number 1. It was Runke with an assist from Addie Delisle. This time Bedford comes up with the face-off. Kylie into the Portsmouth end, gets a stick check, loses the ball. Emery Lawton now coming back for the Clippers.
Morgan Runke, assisted by number 7, Addie Delisle.
Lawton still with it, heading, now finally peels away from the net, gives it to a teammate behind X. There's Runke behind the net. She comes out, gives it to Bouvier. Bouvier now to Reagan Lawton, trying to get by. Takes a shot, saved there by Sy. Whistle on the play. And it'll be a free start here for the Clippers. Coming in from right about 10, 11 o'clock. Shot and score right there. Reagan Lawton off the free start. Goals are coming quickly here. It's now 3-0 Portsmouth on a free start goal by Reagan Lawton.
It's the next couple of possessions are critical for Bedford. They need to win the face-off. They need to have a sustained possession and get a decent shot off on goal and hopefully score. But right now all of the action is in the Portsmouth offensive end, and right now Portsmouth is pretty much determining exactly what's happening and when it's happening. Bedford's got to kind of step up here, and if they're looking to turn this into a game, they've got to make some moves soon.
Well, 3 goals in a matter of 62 seconds here by the Clippers. Ball's loose off the face-off into the Portsmouth end, picked up by the Bulldogs. Ball on the ground again. This is loose, and it's going to be taken away there by number 9. Or number, I don't have a number on that.
Portsmouth goal scored by number 2, Reagan Lawton, unassisted.
And now we've got Izzy Getman in the game, number 18. She picks up the ball behind the goal line as play resumes.
And looking at this Portsmouth roster, only a couple of seniors.
I believe that's Runke on the far sideline. Passes it up. Delisle gets it over to Vinciguerra. Emery Lawton makes a move, comes down the middle, fires a high shot over Sy. And another goal there by number 1, Emery Lawton.
I'm not going to say the floodgates have opened up, but the crank's being turned at this stage. The crank is being turned.
Well, this one took almost a minute to get to go in the net, so the pace is slowing down some. So we're going to call that an unassisted goal there for number 1, Emery Lawton. 7:26 remains here in the first quarter. Not even halfway through, and Portsmouthers are already up by a margin of 4-0. Face-off being teed up. High in the air, on the ground. Bedford comes away with it.
Bedford won the last face-off as well, but they were quick to turn it over. Let's see if they can get a bit of an organized rush here and setting up in I'm going to use my basketball term here, the front court.
Oh, don't feel bad. I use a lot of hockey terminology in lacrosse. Because unlike Corey Musketiger, I'm not a student of the game. Do our best here. Bulldogs trying to get through a double team there. Madeline Kiley loses the ball. And that's been a problem so far for the Bulldogs, is to ball security. They've had a couple of possessions that have ended on turnovers in the Portsmouth zone. And now the Clippers take things the other way into the Bedford end. The left side of your screen, pass ahead to Delisle. Now behind X. That's Getman. Pass in front, broken up. Dangerous play there, but the Bedford defense was able to break that up. Ball is still loose on the ground. Still loose in the air. Now finally, Runke picks up the loose ball and Portsmouth retains possession. Runke makes a cut, fires a shot. That's wide, but it's backed up by the Clippers. They'll retain possession. And cutting in front of the net, Georgia Bouvier scores, which I believe will be an unassisted goal, coming at the 5:51 mark here of the first, and the score is now 5-0 Portsmouth.
This is an illustration of what the Portsmouth Clipper fans have seen all year. They put up really high numbers and pretty much score whenever they want to. Obviously we haven't seen any of their other games, but my suspicion is, based on what we've seen on the turf so far today, is that Portsmouth probably goes into, again, a basketball reference, kind of a four-corner offense at times, probably to not or to go deep into their bench to not obliterate people. But man, this is a high-powered offense.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder at what point the coach for the Clippers, Jojo Curro, decides to put the bench players in, just kind of call off the dogs, so to speak. Not yet. Starters still out there. There's a shot by Reagan Lawton that goes wide, backed up by the Clippers. So the Clippers maintain possession. Pass out to Emery Lawton now. She has to back up. Now attacking again. She gets through the defense, fires a shot. That's wide, backed up again by the Clippers. They will hang on to the ball. Delisle with it behind X. Looking for that outlet pass. No cutter yet. So she sends it high outside to Lawton. Lawton drives. Shot off the ground. Stopped by Sy. Rebound picked up by the Clippers. This is Emery Lawton. Whistle called here, and I believe a free start will be awarded to Emery Lawton. Coming in at about 10 o'clock. Sy prepares. Lawton fires a shot down low, beats Sy between the legs, and just like that is 6-0. So coming in at 4:25 of the first, Emery Lawton scores off a free start, just like her sister did on goal number 3. And the score is now Portsmouth 6, Bedford 0. Still 4:25 to play in the first.
I wish I had started keeping track of scores as a function of possessions. It feels like every time Portsmouth is in the offensive end, they have come away with a score. Bedford's got to get a stop. Bedford's got to prevent this Portsmouth success every time they get into their offensive zone.
Well, they need to start getting on the scoreboard themselves, and that starts with not turning the ball over. Now a possession won once again there by Mary Lenti for the Bulldogs. Let's see if they can turn this into a goal. Lenti still with the ball, looking for an outlet. Pass down along the goal line. That's LeBlanc. Now Kiley with it behind X. Pass up front to Lenti. Whistle called, and this is going to be a free start opportunity for Mary Lenti.
Yeah, this could be the chance for Bedford to kind of turn the tide a little bit here.
Need to cash this in. Lenti had her stick checked before she got to the net, and there'll be another whistle here.
Bedford possession.
So Lenti waited just a little too long to take that shot. She wanted to get in as tight as possible. Now there's scrum in front of the net. Saved there by Boussier. Loose ball picked up by the Bulldogs, so they've got another chance here on offense. Going behind the goal line. Pass up on the ground. Loose ball picked up. Nope, still loose. Finally run down by the Bulldogs, so they extend this possession. 2:48 to play here in the first. Kylie finds Lenti with a shot. Oh, that goes off the goalpost. Great opportunity there. Lenti fired one off the ground, only to go off the post, but Bedford gets the rebound. Still controlling possession here. Kylie is behind X, looking for an outlet, trying to get it to Lenti once again. She gets it back, Kylie does. Bedford being patient here.
Portsmouth defense is relentless. They're always running two people at the, there we go.
Now Lenti finally cashes one in, the pass from Kylie.
Goal number 21, assist 3.
So Bedford finally gets on the scoreboard with 2:09 to play in the first. That was Lenti from Kylie, 21 from 3.
Bedford coaching staff's probably breathing a little sigh of relief that if it gets to the point where you feel like there's a cover over the net, and Lenti just proved that that's not the case. And you once you've shown that you're capable of scoring a goal, then the players maybe will loosen up a little bit and realize that they can score again.
Face-off at midfield, 2:09 to play here in the first. 6-1, Portsmouth leads. Bedford finally on the board. Off the face-off, see who comes up with possession. Portsmouth does. That's Runke. Pass ahead to Patterson. Over to Bouvier. One thing about these Clippers, they've had 6 different goal scorers so far. So everybody can put the ball in the net. Looking for an outlet to get it up to Vinciguerra.
That's
She
a
opens
goal
the scoring.
scored by number 21.
Vinciguerra moves in the net, but fires it just wide on the short side, backed up by the Clippers. They retain possession.
Kylie.
Here's Delisle. Over to Bouvier. Back to Delisle. Bedford trying to seal off all the passing lanes. Finally a pass. Well defended. Ball's on the ground and loose, but picked up by Runke for the Clippers. They maintain control. Runke finally gets it out to behind X just to make some room for herself. Now back up to Bouvier. Lawton to Reagan Lawton. Reagan Lawton moves laterally. Bedford defends well. Delisle. Now Bouvier. Comes out from behind X. Fires a shot low and scores.
Goal number 14.
So Bouvier gets her second goal. She's the first Clipper to get a second goal here with 41.4 seconds to go in period 1.
Portsmouth showed a lot of patience that time on that possession, and I think one of the big factors that I'm seeing right now is their passing is right on. Precision, there's no question where it's going. It gets there. The recipient is catching it, whereas Bedford's struggling a little bit with that when things get congested in front of the goal.
Face-off goes askew. I'm surprised they allowed that to continue. Usually they want it to go more upright, but whistle is blown and possession is given to the Bulldogs, and here comes Molly Muir into the Portsmouth end. Now Kylie loses the ball, picked up by her teammate. Bulldogs retain possession. Lenti with it, runs into a Clipper defender, loses the ball momentarily, picked up by the Bulldogs. Now Lenti gets it back. There's a long shot that goes wide, and it's backed up by the Bulldogs. That is going to end the first period. All Clippers so far. Give you a recap of the scoring at 9:44. It was Ginger Vinciguerra from Reagan Lawton made it 1-0. Then at 9:20, Morgan Runke scores from Addie Delisle, 2-0 Clippers. Reagan Lawton scored at 8:22 off a free start, 3-0 Clippers. Sister Emery Lawton scores unassisted, 4-0 Clippers. That's at 7:26. At 5:51, it was Georgia Bouvier unassisted, 5-0 Clippers. Then at 4:25, Emery Lawton off a free start makes it 6-0 Portsmouth. Finally, Bedford gets on the board at 2:09. It was number 21, Mary Lenti, with an assist from Madeline Kiley. That made it 6-1. But with 41 seconds to play, Bouvier gets her second goal unassisted, and that's where we stand now, 7-1, Portsmouth in the lead.
You know, as a coach, this is a really important break for the Bedford coaching staff, especially for Coach Christine Hodgson. I'm sure her players are somewhat shell-shocked at the way this first period has gone, the first quarter. But you've got to make sure that these players, who in their own right have been very successful this season, realize that they are capable. And rather than playing tentatively, they've got to play more aggressively. They've got to play as a team. And not that they aren't right now, but they are really at a point where psychologically they've got to make some things happen here.
Well, it's a 6-goal deficit. They have 3 periods to catch up, so it's not quite dire yet, but they have to start scoring some goals. We at BCTV and WBNH would like to thank our underwriters for supporting our live broadcast coverage of Bedford High sports. They include Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and great New Hampshire restaurants like T-Bones and the Copper Door. Thank you very much for your support. We're about to start the second period. Bedford switch ends. They will be moving from right to left. And a change of face-off takers here. It's going to be
Lenti,
number
for
21 against, is that 27?
Can't tell. She's shielded from us right now.
Trying to get the number of the Portsmouth player. Off the draw, picked up by Bedford. By the way, that was Morgan Runke on the face-off, just so you know. Whistle blown. Bedford retains possession. It's another free start, but from the outer circle, the outer arc. Too far to attempt a shot on net, so Kiley will pull back. Pursued by Portsmouth. There's the pass off the stick, on the ground. Ball still loose, goes out of bounds at the turnover Bedford. Clippers take over. There's a pass to Bouvier, the goalkeeper. Now cross-field pass to Barrows. Barrows up to Haley Stallkamp. And then Maddie Houghton takes over, and she takes it into the Bedford end. 10:59 to play here in the second quarter. It's 7-1 Portsmouth. They jumped out to a 6-0 lead.
I don't think we've seen much in the way of substitutions for Portsmouth at this point. I think
it's still starters. All starters out there right now. I think they're going to try to get it to runtime. There's a shot and a goal.
I believe it was number 1. Yeah,
it was number 1.
replay, Kev.
So that makes it 8-1.
Assist number 4.
So it's going to be Emery Lawton from Ginger Vinciguerra.
So there's some discussion up here in the booth. Every sport's a little bit different as to when they go to run time, and I was just informed that the margin of 10 is when the run time clock goes in girls lacrosse regardless of the quarter, and I guess if it goes down below 10 again, that it would go back to stop time. But as opposed to basketball, where it's not until the fourth quarter, and once run time starts, regardless, it stays running.
Face-off won by Lenti of Bedford. 8-1 is the score. They got to keep this from getting too out of hand here.
Portsmouth goal scored by
Another turnover.
Emery Lawton.
Carly Hodson Rogers unable to control that. Now Emery Lawton 2-on-1 here. Whistles blown. Not sure why they interrupted that breakaway, but something was
I didn't
not
see
right.
any contact.
No, some kind of violation. It's going to be a free start here
Perhaps Corey can call in and let us know if he's watching from wherever he is.
from Emery Lawton, and she scores off the free start. That's her third goal, second one off a free start, coming at 9:58 of the second period. It's now 9-1 for the Clippers.
You know, oftentimes some of the stronger teams will seek some out-of-state competition to kind of measure where they stack up. I did not get a chance to look today. I believe Portsmouth plays one or two out-of-state games, but some of the I know on the boys' side, some of the powerhouses will play the maximum number allowed, whether it's 4 or 6, in order to really test their mettle.
Bulldogs win another face-off. That's Lenti. And another turnover. That's been the bugaboo of the Bulldogs today, to keep turning the ball over. You were talking about the out-of-state games. Portsmouth did take on Central Catholic. There's a goal.
Number 2.
On a rush from Reagan Lawton. Clippers are piling it on here.
No, it doesn't look like a goal was allowed.
Oh, they're going
was
to
called off.
Wave that off. Okay. So it's going to be a free start instead. So they're going to give
Lawton a second opportunity here.
Lawton here an opportunity, right? Shot saved by Sy. And rebound there by the Bulldogs. Ball on the ground. Finally, De Silva gets it for the Bulldogs. They maintain possession, lose it once more. Portsmouth gets it back. Lawton. Pass down low. That goes off the stick of Bouvier. That's a turnover. Clippers take over. As you were talking about out-of-state competition for Portsmouth, they played Central Catholic, beat them 15-5. And they have a game coming up against Andover on May 22nd. I believe those are the only two out-of-state games that the Clippers will be playing.
I think they're also playing D2 St. Thomas.
Oh yeah, they did beat them 21-7.
Yeah. Normally, though, a team would go out of division for powerhouse games, as opposed to, unless there's some sort of rivalry between Portsmouth and St. Thomas.
That could be.
St. Thomas is located in Dover.
Neighboring schools. Or it could have been a scheduling competition. Now there's an errant path that's anticipated well by the Clippers and stolen away. I believe that's Stallkamp that made that takeaway. Stallkamp able to read the play and step in between the pass and give the Clippers another possession here. They already have a 8-goal lead. Once they get it up to 10, they'll be going into run time here. 7:23 to go in the second quarter. Blenkinsop with the ball. Centering pass there by Bouvier. misses the mark. Ball on the ground. Chased down by Lily Patterson. She's got it back for the Clippers. Clippers reset now. Emery Lawton.
Bedford pretty much playing a man-to-man defense.
That's all they can do at this point, just to keep the players from getting loose. There's a ball loose on the ground, but taken back by the Clippers. Vince Guerra gets the ball back. Vince Guerra drives in that, fires a shot high and scores.
They've got that, excuse me, that quick first step, and very quick with the counters when Bedford reacts to it, and usually it's that counter that leaves Bedford players behind, leaves them in the dust a little bit, and we're seeing the results pretty quickly up on the scoreboard.
I think you appreciate that kind of quick first move because it's very similar to a point guard making a move like that to drive to the basket, to get that first step on the defender.
Most definitely. I can tell you, I was away this weekend for I'm doing some coaching in the off season for one of the New England clubs, and one of the things that you really appreciate is the ability of an offensive player to gain advantage, not just by the quickness of their first step, but their ability to change speeds. You know, I always tell our players, it's not how fast you are, it's your ability to change speeds and catch that defender off guard just for that split second. And once you get them on your hip, so to speak, then you force help defense to come, and it's no different in lacrosse than it is in basketball. And once the help comes, if the help doesn't get there for the helper, there's somebody open for the spin-off, and the result is a score, and we're seeing a lot of that from Portsmouth.
Timeout called by the Bulldogs. Coach Hodson trying to rally the troops here as they trail 10-1 with 6:33 to go here in the second quarter. The next Portsmouth goal will send this game into runtime. While we have a moment here, BCTV's live channels and on-demand content are now easier to access than ever before thanks to the Bedford Community Television app, available both on Apple iOS and Android Play stores. Download the BCTV app onto your phone or tablet and enjoy our programming anywhere, anytime at your fingertips.
You know, the score isn't indicative. Well, it is indicative of just how strong Portsmouth is, but Bedford's put together a really strong season, and Coach Hodgson has an awful lot of young talent to work with herself. I mentioned how young Portsmouth is, but there aren't that many seniors on the Bedford roster either, and she has a strong history of success, and a game like this isn't necessarily anything other than a good checkpoint as to where you're at and what you need to do to fill the gap between now and the end of the regular season. And Coach Hodgson is again one of the best, and I'd be willing to bet that while she's coaching in the moment, she's taking an awful lot of mental notes as to adjustments she's going to want to make and different things she's going to want to practice in order to prepare her team a little differently for the next time hopefully these two teams meet.
Well, you know that Coach Hodgson is used to a higher level of performance. I mean, she's had Bedford teams that were as good as the Portsmouth team is right now. So she knows what it takes to get your team there, and I'm sure she's making notes and making sure that her young players are learning from experiences like this. It is humbling to get, run up on you like Portsmouth is doing here, but you try to take the positive away, or at least a lesson.
Yeah.
Not necessarily positive experience having your behind handed to you in a game, but you do learn from these things. You learn what happened to you and learn how to make sure that doesn't happen to you next time.
And an old coach's saying is you win and you learn. You don't win or you lose. You win or you learn. And hopefully, assuming that this game continues in the path that it's on, Bedford learns what it's going to take, and sometimes players need a little bit of humility to realize that there's more to go, more to be done, and there's a lot of strong players in this program that play year round, and I'm sure they're learning on the go.
Play resumes. That is Leah LeBlanc behind X there for Bedford. One thing that the Bulldogs definitely need to work on is just completing passes. They've had a few drop passes, and that has turned into possessions for the Clippers. So that's definitely one area that needs improvement. Bedford, here's a cut in front and a shot and a save there by
nice save.
Sage Boussier. It was a nice setup, but Boussier was ready for that. Got her big butterfly net in front of that shot, so the score remains 10-1. Boussier behind the net. Trying to run away there from number 15, LeBlanc. Now she's in the crease, which gives her protection. Boussier just playing keep away with the ball right now.
Kind of toying with her.
Not sure what the Clippers are waiting for here. I would think there's some kind of violation. I guess the officials didn't like the stalling. I guess maybe, again, I apologize. I'm not totally versed on the rules of girls lacrosse, but apparently stalling the ball that long caused the official to give possession to the Bulldogs. Here's a chance. Cutting across momentarily there, that was Montano. Wound up losing the ball, and now the Portsmouth Clippers coming back very quickly. Morgan Runke crosses into the Bedford zone. Long pass across for Blenkinsop. This is Vince Aguirre. Back to Blenkinsop. Behind the net. Pass up front. Whistle is...
And looks like some sort of a foul.
Reagan Lawton had the ball. Now she's going to have a free start. 4:04 to play here. Cy was able to stop the last free start. This one goes over the net. Backed up by Portsmouth. They retain possession. Pass in front, shot and score. So Reagan Lawton gets her goal anyway. Assisted by Georgia Bouvier. So Reagan Lawton from Georgia Bouvier at 3:45 sends the game into run time as the margin reaches the 10-goal mark. It's now 11-1 Portsmouth.
Some sticks being exchanged for face-off by Portsmouth.
So Vince Aguirre will return to the face-off role for the Clippers. Meanwhile, Mary Lenti will continue to handle that duty. Ball in the air, picked up cleanly by Vince Aguirre, and Portsmouth on the attack once again. 3-minute mark, running time, 11-1, Clippers lead. I imagine we'll start to see the starters are still out there for the Clippers. I imagine that Coach Kura will start putting some of the bench players into the game shortly.
You know, and looking over there, she really doesn't have many bench players.
And there's a goal scored once again by Reagan Lawton at 2:37. 12-1 now. Clippers lead.
You do have a, looks like a sub coming in here.
Number 11.
So the assist there goes to Lily Patterson. You're right. Looking at the starting lineup here, I think they only have about 3 bench players, don't they?
I just did a quick count, and it looks like they have 5.
5, okay. So
but that's not that many.
No, I mean, they're going to have to play most of their starters here because they just don't have the replacements. You might see some of the players like, well, Blenkinsop, she was a non-starter. Liv Russo, Izzy Getman, she's been in the game a little bit. Lily Remsen, Ava Brunel, those are players that we might be calling their names more here. So face-off won by the Clippers.
Lily Patterson.
They have the ball again behind the Bedford goal. Now the pass goes up top. Reagan Lawton scored the last 2 goals. I believe she has 3 or 4. I'll have to check my notes here in a moment. Reagan Lawton loses the handle there, but backed up quickly by Morgan Runke. Now Runke charges, tries to get past the Bedford defender and winds up scoring anyway.
Goal number 17.
So that comes at 137, 13-1. Morgan Runke unassisted.
And the clock continues to run.
I believe that's Runke's second goal. She got the second goal of the game. So she's got 2. Meanwhile, Reagan Lawton has 1, 2, 3 goals. The lone goal scored by Mary Lenti by the Bulldogs.
And she's, thought she had the face-off.
Ball on the ground, finally picked up there by Maddie Kiley.
Portsmouth goal scored by number 17.
Kiley bringing it into the offensive zone. Decides to take the shot. It's wide, backed up by the Bulldogs. They retain possession. Kiley has it. Emerges from behind the net, tries to pass it up.
Very little time left. Need to get a shot on. Well, nope.
And that's going to do it for the first half. Buzzer sounds. And that is the end of the first half of play here with the score 13-1. Clippers in the lead. Quick recap of scoring. It was Emery Lawton from Ginger Vinciguerra at 10:41, made it 8-1. Emery Lawton scores again on a free start at 9:58, made it 9-1. Then Ginger Vinciguerra unassisted made it 10-1 at 6:33. It was Reagan Lawton scoring with help from Georgia Bouvier at 3:45, made it 11-1. Then Reagan Lawton again at 2:37 with an assist from Lily Patterson, made it 12-1. Finally, number 17, Morgan Runke, got her second goal at 1:37, made it 13-1. We're going to take a quick break and come back for second half action very shortly. You're watching Girls Lacrosse on BCTV.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
Second half action about to begin between the Clippers and the Bulldogs. Clippers lead 13-1. We are in run time. Bulldogs going from left to right.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments both teams make in this half, whether Portsmouth continues to play aggressively and whether Bedford changes things up a little bit on both ends of the turf to see if they can make a difference.
Runke wins the faceoff. He gives it to Patterson. Now the ball at goal. Back out on top. Portsmouth has the luxury of just bleeding the clock here. Reagan Lawton still out there. A little bit of a scrum there. Lawton comes out with the ball. Fires a shot. That goes, well, I think it was a pass behind the net. Wasn't a shot. They maintain possession. Here's Runke. Pass. Back to Runke. Fires a shot high and scores.
47 seconds. 47 seconds into the third quarter, and they're on the board again. My goodness.
Goal number 17, assist 15.
So Runke with another goal, and Liv Russo, one of those bench players, helping out there on the assist, number 15. Makes the score 14-1 Portsmouth.
You know, one of the most difficult things as a coach is making that determination as to when you call off the hounds, if you will, because when a team is used to playing as aggressively as Portsmouth, you really can't flip a switch and play any differently. And that sometimes is when you allow the other team to kind of sneak in.
Foul called on the face-off. Possession awarded to the Clippers. Vincent Guerra tries to escape from the Bedford midfielders and does. Here's Lily Patterson. Now Reagan Lawton pulls back after meeting a double team. We have some other Bulldog scores we'll pass along to you just momentarily. Here's Emery Lawton. Correction, that's Addie Delisle, number 7. Pass inside now for Georgia Bouvier. Now she pulls out. I think this might be what Portsmouth might do, is just kind of extend possessions a little bit longer rather than attacking.
You know, oftentimes, to use my basketball analogy, you know, you work on your sets, you work on your...
oh, there's a sharp angle shot there. Liv Russo beating Cy almost along the goal line.
And even if you are working on your sets, you do tell your kids when the scoring opportunity is there for you, you take it. And it obviously was there.
So Liv Russo gets on the board, one of the bench players coming in, with help from Reagan Lawton. Pushes the score up to 14-1. Let's give you those scores. Baseball continues to pile up the wins. They have a 3-0 win, another shutout win here against the Portsmouth Clippers. And boys lacrosse at Merrimack today, and they come away victorious 16-2.
There's a great example of Bedford's boys lacrosse team really dominating the most of the in-state competition.
Yeah, they're having a great year. Very windy day out here. You might see some papers flying across the field. Bulldogs with possession there. Leah LeBlanc. Bulldogs trying to maintain possession here, trying to find an opening against this Portsmouth defense. LeBlanc with it. Gets it to Kylie. Or correction, that was number 9, Makita Berry. 7:33 to go. There's a high pass that goes over the stick of Molly Muir. Turnover Bedford. Ball to Portsmouth. We are in run time here, 7:23. There's a pass a little bit off the mark, but no harm there. Izzy Getman drawing a foul. They maintain possession. Ava Brunel, again calling her name for the first time in this game, so Coach Kuro has emptied the benches as much as he can. Here's Blenkinsop. Decides to pull the ball back down. Now Emery Lawton still in the game. She was one of the starters. Blenkinsop tries to find an outlet and does. Now loses the ball. Ball bouncing around. And Portsmouth able to come up with it. Emery Lawton controls. Blenkinsop. Pass down low to Bouvier. Centering pass. Shot over the net. Foul called on the Clippers. Possession goes to Bedford. Peyton Bolduc will pick it up.
I'll tell you, we got the breezes are blowing to the point where things are flying around in the press box as well.
Yeah, I tried to play a little pickleball today. It's very hard to play in a stiff wind, for sure.
We over on the Legacy Courts?
No, over at Rock Rimmon.
My wife plays there.
It's a wonderful place.
My wife plays over there. There's another place over near the Elliott that she plays as well.
Yeah, it's called Prout Park.
Yes, there you go.
No, it's a popular sport. Everybody's playing it. Turnover Bedford. Here come the Clippers. 5:23 to go here in the third. Ava Brunel with possession. Takes it down to goal line. Now pulls back. Gets it to Delisle. Now a pass and a shot there by trying to get the number 15. That's Liv Russo. Stopped by Sy. But the Clippers back it up and maintain possession here. Under 5 minutes to go here in the third. Here's Blankensop. Runs into a little bit of interference there, courtesy of the Bedford defense. Now she flips the ball to her teammate. Lawson. Pass inside, shot in the goal. I believe that was number 7, Addie Delisle.
Is that her first of the game?
I believe it is. So did they say that was Delisle, number 7?
Delisle, and then assist with number 1, Emery Lawton.
Emery Lawton, okay, so.
Lawtons are usually some part of the goal scoring, whether it's the goal or the assist. And the crazy thing is that, you have called Grunke's name a few times, but as good as she is, she's just one of many dominant players on this Portsmouth Clipper team.
So time continues to run, 3:44 here in the third. 16-1, Clippers up. Face-off teed up in the air and cleanly picked off there by Mary Lenti. So one thing the Bulldogs have done fairly well today is win those face-offs. Unfortunately, they had a few turnovers that erased those possessions. But here they are with the ball. Behind the net. Kylie had it. Now Molly Muir. Makita Berry. Lenti had it there momentarily. Tried to pass it inside to Muir. Broken up. Or to Berry, I should say. Ball is lost.
Yeah, the goalie is way out of the net.
Yeah.
Contesting that.
Bouthier decides to go after that loose ball and draws a crowd of white shirts, but the whistle is blown. Now she'll have a free start here behind her net. Or at least behind the goal line, not anywhere near her net.
I was going to say, there's some confidence for you. There's nobody even guarding the net while she's got the ball back there.
Ball's loose, picked up, and then a collision draws a whistle. Emery Lawton goes down. No doubt she'll have a free start here. Play resumes. Lawton gets around Montano. Carries it all the way into the Bedford end. Passes over to sister Reagan Lawton. She pulls up, tries to get it to her teammate. Couldn't complete the pass. Ball still on the ground. Whistle called there. I believe one of the Bedford players stepped on the ball. I believe that is a foul. So a free start awarded on the outside circle. Reagan Lawton will have it. A little too far here for a shot on net. Emery Lawton with the ball, pulls away, pulls back. Pass across to Delisle. Now behind the net goes Lily Patterson. She gets it to Liv Russo. Reagan Lawton. Circles around, now goes behind X. Waits, looks for an outlet. Blackensop cuts in front of the net, does not get the pass. Emery Lawton takes a hit to the head, courtesy of Molly Muir. That's going to draw a whistle.
A yellow card.
She is going to take a seat as she gets a penalty. So I believe Portsmouth will be playing with the player advantage here. Pass down low, shot, score. That's Reagan Lawton.
Yep.
And we're going to wait to see who gave her the assist. I believe it was her sister, Emery. So that pushes the score to 17-1, I believe.
Yep. Yep. 17-1.
We'll wait for the official score here. So it was sister to sister. Reagan Lawton scores with help from sister Emery Lawton. And that is goal number 17 for the Clippers here as the final seconds of period 3
Portsmouth goal.
wind
Scored by
down.
Number 2, Reagan Lawton. Assisted by number 1, Emery Lawton.
Face off, won by the Clippers, but that's going to be it for period number 3. And scoring slowing down just a little bit here in the third quarter. It was 4 goals by the Clippers. Started out with Morgan Runke from Liv Russo at 11:03, made it 14-1. Liv Russo scoring with help from Reagan Lawton moments later made it 15-1. Then Addie Delisle from Emery Lawton makes the score 16-1, and just there moments ago it was on a power play, I should say, or player advantage. It was Reagan Lawton from Emery Lawton, and that's where the score sits right now, 17-1. Well, I've got a moment here. Let's thank our underwriters for our live sports coverage. They include Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and great New Hampshire restaurants like T-Bones and the Copper Door. Just got an update here on softball. They dropped one to the Clippers. I guess it's Clippers Day for all the sports. 15-5 is the final score. Bulldogs still only have 1 victory for softball, but we will be covering their game on May 27th against the Central West Kings. That'll be at Slavosky Field on May 27th, Tuesday afternoon, 4 p.m. Coverage on BCTV. Make sure you tune in for that. In the meantime, upcoming broadcasts include baseball coming up this Friday. Bulldogs take on Merrimack Tomahawks. That'll be at SAU Field. First pitch is at 4:30. A little bit later on, as we mentioned, softball. Softball will be on... softball be on the 27th, right? Then on the 28th, girls lacrosse versus Sauhegan right here at BHS Stadium, Wednesday the 28th. Then on Friday the 30th, I believe that's going to wrap up our regular season sports coverage. Playoffs come after. Boys lacrosse against the Pickerton Astros. That's going to be a great contest, and that's a 5:30 start on Friday on May 30th. And Corey Munstertiger and company will have the call for that game.
As a coach in the Bulldog athletic area, I got to tell you, the BCTV has been fantastic in providing coverage for all of Bedford sports teams, and I'm gonna wear my coach's hat for a moment and say a thank you to you, Harry, to Bill Jennings, to Andrew Fenn, to everybody for really bringing Bedford athletics into the homes of people who can't be there, and a lot of relatives from around the country, and it's first-class organization. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. Well, we do appreciate it. Don't forget to mention some of our volunteer announcers like Lauren Fox, Corey Munstertiger.
Most
Corey,
definitely.
of course, does a fantastic job on football, especially lacrosse. He's a lacrosse master. Really knows the game inside and out.
And you added some. I know you added Mike Topf, or Topf, I can't pronounce his name properly.
Mike Topf.
Topf to some of the basketball games this year.
Oh, Jason Bergeron, of course, too. He does hockey and some baseball as well. Yeah, we really appreciate the help from a lot of the volunteers. Come from the ranks of the athletes' parents.
Yeah.
They jump in and help us out with the broadcast. There's a shot that goes wide, backed up by Portsmouth.
Mike Top. Yeah. And there's a strong rumor that the legendary Jay Brewster will be helping to call that softball game.
Great backhanded shot there by Reagan Lawton. That just goes wide. Bulldogs get the loose ball. Now it's intercepted. Here's a chance coming in all alone, and a goal scored there by Blankensop, another bench player. And I believe that will be a unassisted goal.
Goal number 3.
Yep, that was confirmed from the field.
Portsmouth goal scored by number 3, Elliot Blankenshop.
So as I was saying, a lot of the players' parents sometimes step in to do these games, and they kind of get the bug. They started enjoying being on the air, and you can really tell they like what they do, and we love having them. So keep that in mind if anybody's out there who's involved or interested in getting involved in some of the BCTV broadcast. If you've got an expertise in a certain sport, or if you know, if you have an intimate knowledge of one of the teams, we can definitely use your talents. Just contact Bill Jennings. Let him know you're interested.
I can tell you the day after we won the state championship, I was right back at UNH sitting next to you helping
That's
call
right.
the boys championship
You are one
game.
of the volunteers. I appreciate
And,
really forgive me for not
No, that's fine. And I'll tell you, there's when you really have love for a particular game, it can be a lot of fun kind of observing it from a different seat.
Well, you do mention the thrill of being so close to the action, and you're right. Here's a shot that goes off a stick and wide, and it's going to be backed up by Portsmouth. To be that close, you're talking about the boys championship game, being that close to these incredible athletes and watching them do their work from that vantage point is really a thrill. It's a privilege that few people get to enjoy.
Best seat in the house, except for the coach's bench. Oh,
There's a shot in the goal. It's going to be Reagan Lawton scoring that one. I don't think it'll be an assist, and we'll find out. So that pushes the score up to 19-1. 8:30 to go here in regulation time. Playoffs are always a lot of fun too.
Oh, most definitely.
2 unassisted is the, and we will be bringing you playoff action for both lacrosse teams. Baseball, I believe, is in a position to appear in the postseason. Hopefully, we'll get a home game.
Yeah, they're battling for home game. They had a little bit of a rough patch, and they put together quite a few wins recently, including, I believe we were told, one today.
That's right, a shutout win over Portsmouth.
I think that puts them at 9-5 now, and in a pretty good position for the postseason.
They've been running hot and cold, but they've had a couple of quality wins. We covered the last game we covered last week, saw them come from behind to take out. Was it Merrimack? Salem, that's right. I'm sorry. I know there was another blue team, Salem Blue Devils. I believe Salem was up 5-0 at one point, and they wound up winning that game. There's a shot and a score by Portsmouth. We'll get the name and number of the goal scorer, but the score is now 20-1.
Portsmouth definitely making a statement with this win today, and at this stage for
Goal number 9, assist number 1.
Okay, so the goal scorer was
number 9.
Number 9. We don't have one on our roster.
It might be Maggie Rice, pulled up from JV, perhaps.
I believe you're right. The JV did play earlier today, so there would be a reason for her to be available. So maybe some of these JV players are starting to see some time. So number 9 is, like you said, Maggie Rice with the goal there, courtesy of Emery Lawton on the assist, making it 20-1, 6:30 to go in regulation. Portsmouth controls again. Here's Liv Russo up top to Emery Lawton. Morgan Runke with it.
Scored by number 9.
And we just had confirmation that was Rice with the goal scored.
And another Lawton assist.
Just past the 6-minute mark here on run time.
One of Coach Hodgdon's challenges will be to instill a goldfish memory into her players. Basically let them forget this game and prepare tomorrow for Wednesday's contest at Pinkerton, because that will be just as difficult an opponent, perhaps not
I see another JV player out there, number 8, Sarah Edwards, behind the goal there.
But it's important, when you have a game like this, to just quickly close the door on it and start preparing for that next opponent.
Yeah, a 19-goal loss hurts, but it's just a loss.
Exactly.
It's 1-L. Doesn't matter if it's by 1 goal or by 19. You got to shake it off and live to play another game. Be ready to play another game.
Right.
So Bedford with possession. It's Kylie carrying it into the Portsmouth end. This would be a good time to get a goal or two, just to kind of remind yourself that you can still do that.
Exactly.
Let's get some momentum into your next game by putting one in the net here. Molly Muir pulls back, gets it to Leah LeBlanc, back to Muir. There's Lenti. Whistle blown. They'll give her a free start. 4:12 to play here in regulation. There's a pass off the mark, off the stick of LeBlanc. Ball is still loose. That wasn't the most accurate pass, but LeBlanc really should have adjusted to that.
Exactly.
So here comes Portsmouth. Vinci Guerra up to Liv Russo. Pulls back, waits for her teammates. Gets it to Emery Lawton. Back to Russo. 3:30 to go. I think Portsmouth will be happy to just run off the clock here.
I think you're 100% right.
Maybe give a JV player another chance to score, but pretty much I think the clock will be, they're just going to burn it down to the ground. Our next broadcast going to be Friday. We were just talking about baseball. They'll be hosting the Merrimack Tomahawks at SAU Field. Make sure you tune in for that. I'll have that call along with Mike Top. I believe Mike Top will be calling that game with me. $2:33 to play. Portsmouth just controlling the ball. Liv Russo.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're going to be content to kind of move the ball around, probe a little bit, and if there's a real clean scoring opportunity there, they'll take it, like they just did.
Just as you said, Vinci Guerra decided to take that shot and put it in the net, so that's going to make it a 20-goal win at the very least.
Assist number 1.
So Emery Lawton will get the assist. Vinci Guerra gets the goal. Under 2 minutes to play. 21-1 is the margin.
I've officially run out of fingers and toes now to keep track of the score.
No scoring recap.
Well, I'll just do it now while we got the time. Fourth quarter scoring. Blenkinsop from Emery Lawton. Reagan Lawton unassisted. Maggie Rice from Emery Lawton, and then Vinci Guerra from Emery Lawton. Those are your 4 goal scorers this period. So Portsmouth with the ball once again. We're coming up on a minute to play. We'll see if they'll take this down to 0 without taking a shot here.
I think so, yeah.
That's Abby Stacy. Haven't called her name much today.
One of 2 seniors on the team, actually.
Coming up on 30 seconds to go. Clippers just playing keep away. Bouvier with the ball. Cross court, almost intercepted there. Good anticipation. Now here's Liv Russo. Takes a shot. Goes behind the net. Backed up there by Blankensop. 15 seconds to play. Ten seconds. Blankensop still with the ball, just running it out here, being watched carefully by Makita Berry. 2, 1, and that is it. Buzzer sounds. None too soon for the Bulldogs as they take a whooping. 21-1 is your final score against the undefeated Clippers.
Again, as I mentioned a moment ago, the real mission now for Bedford is to learn from this and then throw it away. Forget about the score. Forget about the way the game went down.
The humiliation.
What's that again?
The humiliation.
Yeah, perhaps. But
the humbling.
The humility is, sometimes it's good to realize that. There's still work to be done, and as a coach, it can be a good motivator.
It's a reminder. Well, Coach Kevin Gibbs, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast.
My pleasure. On
the camera, of course, Bill Jennings, back in the studio, Andrew Finn. We'll say goodbye. Thank you very much to our broadcast complete here. 21-1 is your final score. Portsmouth over Bedford. You've been watching Bedford girls basketball on BC Lacrosse. See, you got me here thinking basketball.
I'm talking basketball.
Lacrosse.
Yeah, there you go.
On BC TV. So long.